Hello, viewers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever part of the world you are. This is your host, Aijaz Qureshi, with today's episode of the Aijaz Qureshi Show. Today, we have a very interesting topic, and this subject is very near and dear to my heart. Lots of friends, they ask questions related to these matters. I have done lots of shows on the mind sciences and psychology. You have all liked them and loved these topics. So today we're going to talk about how you deal with stress and trauma. What is the stress and what mental trauma could be, and how to deal with those situations. For this, we have invited the great person from Sweden, all the way from Sweden. His name is Ulf Sandstrom, and he's a cognitive expert, and he's a trainer as well. So we'll talk about his professional life and what he's doing. But Ulf has been training on mind sciences for long, and he's a hypnotist as well as he's a stress and trauma facilitator and expert. Let's welcome him to the show. Welcome to the show, Ulf.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm happy to be here, Aijaz.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. So let's dig into before we head into the topic. But our friends would like to know that who is Ulf Sandstorm? Where did you start? I mean, why did you get into what you're doing today?
Yeah, I think you could say that everything has a starting point, and the starting point is usually a lot earlier than you believe yourself.
Yes.
Most things in our childhood affect us our whole life. I train PhD students at Karolinska Institute in presentation skills, and I ask them, why did you become a PhD student?
Yes.
And they won't say because it would be a great salary or this. They would say, I had a grandfather and he was a doctor and he inspired me. Or my grandmother got diabetes and I couldn't help her. So I decided I would become a doctor and a researcher.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're all shaped early on in life. And these are the belief programs in our cognition that program our values and give us our strategies. So everything you believe you can do, you will try to do. And everything you believe you cannot do or fear, you won't do. So I grew up in 7 different countries. My father was in the foreign service. And I met a lot of different cultures, very rich. Every religion you can imagine of the 5 biggest religions, poor and rich people, totalitarian governments, right-wing, left-wing, military, completely crazy democratic anarchy, you name it. And I realized that we are all very different, but we are also the same. We are human. And as humans, we share the same body, the same abilities, and the same machine.
That's true. We are human beings before we are anybody else. So thank you so much for that. I completely agree. I will take some comments with your permission, Ulf. So first comment is from Professor Dr. Amina Attar. She is working with United Nations in Germany. And she's saying, good afternoon. The screen at the back looks amazing. Thank you so much for liking that. I really appreciate it. I'm experimenting different things, as you know, so thank you so much. And our great friend Malik Imran Khan from Pakistan is saying, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much. That's a greeting, Ulf, in our language. So thank you so much. And there you go. There you go. And Professor Dr. Amina Attar is saying, good one to watch, mind psychology. Absolutely. So talking about psychology, I think, see how our viewers lead us into these discussions that we always wanted to do. So the difference between cognitive sciences and psychology, are these two synonymous to each other, or they're two different things?
Well, I would say that science is like the palm of my hand. And then you have different branches of science, which could be cognition, it could be psychology, it could be inflammation and depression, it could be depression caused by inflammation in the body, it could be psychotherapy, it could be school medicine, it could be genetics, it could be DNA. All these things come together in the body. So they overlap. right?
So there is overlap, okay, between these senses.
Of
Okay.
course, there's overlap. At the end of the day, there are only three things that we need to find out. The only three things any human being will do during their whole life. The
Mhm.
three things, when you look back at your life, are the three things you will either be happy about or regret.
I
It's
see.
what you thought, what you felt, and what you did.
What you thought, what you felt, and what you did. Those are the three things.
Think, feel, and do. That's
Think,
the
feel,
essence
and
of
do.
your visit on this earth.
Okay. So we can think in a way and we feel it in a different way, but we do it in a different way, or
And
uh,
they are connected.
yeah, but they're connected. Okay.
Yes. So cognitive science is about how you think. Psychology is about how you think and feel.
Ah,
Psychiatry is the body where it happens.
I
And
see.
behavioral
Okay,
science is what you do.
that's good. Yeah, that sums it up. Thank you, thank you. Now I think it is much clearer to me. Thank you so much. And our friend Malik Imran Khan is saying topic is amazing. Thank you so much. Absolutely, the topic is really great, and the topic is how to deal with the stress and trauma, as you guys see. And Sahil Abbas is our friend. He's saying hi, sir. Hello, Sahil. How are you? And then he's adding saying Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. So let's dive into the stress. How can we define the word stress? What is it?
Well, it was defined by Hans Eile way back, and it's any input to your system on a conscious or subconscious level that prompts a reaction is actually a stressor. It is stressing a response. So it could be a smell, it could be something you see, it could be a thought, it could be something you hear, it could be something in your body or in the environment. That's actually what a stressor is. So it's a stimuli of some sort from the inside or outside, provoking a response. Now we put a negative impact on the word, so we're saying that when we are stressed, it's a negative impact. You are not stressed by too much love, but scientifically speaking, that is still a stress, but it's a positive one.
Awesome. Okay. And so when we talk about stress, we talk about depression as well. So are these two things similar or identical, stress and depression, or they're two different things and with different symptoms and different outcomes?
Yeah. So when we talk about depression, for example, it's like talking about the weather. I could ask you, did you have a good weather today? Yes. And
Yes.
you and
Yeah.
you can ask me if I had a good weather.
Yeah. Did you have a good weather today?
Yeah. So what do you know about my temperature?
I know nothing about your temperature.
What do you know about the clouds?
Oh, I love clouds.
Yeah, but did I have clouds?
I don't know. You tell me, did you have clouds?
Do you think it rained here?
I'm not sure. I didn't check if it rained in Sweden.
So if it rained, was it good or bad?
Well, some people like rain. I love rain. Some people don't like rain at all. They don't like soggy weather.
And there you have depression. What is it really? For
Oh,
one person, what is it, and what is it for the other?
yes, that's
So,
right.
according to some, stress, if we take negative stress, is something that makes you feel pressure to act. I need to change something.
Okay.
Depression is when you have an urge to act, but maybe you have a sense that it isn't possible. So you get depressed because you would like to change the world, but it feels hopeless. Now, that's one kind of depression that could be rain or not rain. But also, there is a medical theory that depression is what the body does when it has an inflammation. And physically seen from a machine point of view of the body, if your body needs to repair itself, it wants you to lie down and be quiet.
True.
So, what will it do to make you lie down and be quiet? It could create a depression. That
Oh,
will make you lie
okay.
down and be quiet until your body is repaired. So when you fight some depressions, you are fighting a natural reaction to heal.
Got it.
So all weather is not alike.
That's right. That's right. That's good. That's great. And we have another comment that I'm going to take. Malik Imran Khan is saying, what are the main factors that help to reduce the intensity of trauma and enhance the wellness in older adults? We'll talk about it. We haven't gone that far. You see, Wolf, our viewers are ahead of us, always ahead of us.
But we can answer that directly.
We're coming to define actually what trauma is, because to me, trauma is if I meet an accident, I cut my finger or something, that could be a trauma. Or I hit my head to a wall or something, that would be a trauma. What is actually trauma, Wolf?
Well, that's an excellent question. See, the thing is, again, it's the same as the weather. If you are a farmer and it has been dry for months, the rain will save your family.
Yes.
If you went to the farmer's place for a holiday, the rain will ruin your holiday.
Right.
So just like rain can be good and bad, you cannot define what is a trauma by the incident. For some people, losing their public face could be a worse trauma than losing an arm or a leg. For some people, honor of the family could be worse than actually being hit on the head. Some people will proudly die for what they believe is a worthy cause, while other people will do anything to avoid it. So trauma can be defined by three factors. It is an incident in your life that happens in a short time span where something that is very meaningful to you, doesn't have to be meaningful to anybody else, but something that has a big meaning for you is at risk of being lost and you cannot escape it. So the trauma is realizing that something very valuable to me, my life, my honor, my money, my family, my house, could be lost and I can't do anything about it. So this helplessness creates a conditioning which will trigger in the future when you are reminded of this situation. And that's what is post-traumatic stress.
I see. Great definition. Thank you so much. So let's get back to the question that the gentleman asked. He's saying that what are the main factors that help to reduce the intensity of trauma and enhance the wellness in older adults? Now, I think if we take out the older adults part of it, it still applies to all of us, doesn't it?
It applies to every mammal in the world. We share the nervous system with hamsters and
that's right, exactly.
Cats.
True.
Yeah. So to reduce the intensity, let's take it this way in three steps. Okay. So step number one, stress is something that happens on a daily level and goes up or down. And when your bucket is full, it's full. That can cause inflammation, depression, any kind of symptoms, chronic pain. But when you take away the stress, the symptoms disappear. Trauma is when you are encoded with a reaction so that anything that reminds you of the trauma will trigger a traumatic reaction. It could be a sound, it could be a smell, it could be a song, it could be the time of year, it could be the music you heard when you walked into the street when a car went and killed your friend, right? So any stimuli that triggers the trauma has to be neutralized. And by reducing stress and by reducing traumatic reactions, you enhance the wellness in every single mammal, every single human being. To do this, there is a very simple method that I have been working with my colleague Gunilla in our organization, which is an NGO called the Peaceful Heart Network.
Peaceful Heart Network.
Yes, we create free materials in 26 languages.
Wow.
26 languages. This is a book we've written, which tells about our experience working after the genocide in Rwanda.
Wow.
And with liberated child soldiers in Congo, in Afghanistan, with widows of war, in all kinds of countries, 20 countries, today maybe even 30. So the method is very simply, I want to show it to you right now because I don't want people to see this and wonder where they will find the answer. So the key to reducing the intensity of stress and trauma is that when you feel it, it's a neurological circuit that's activated. You cannot wash your hands if they are not in the water. So if you want to reduce trauma, you need to open a door to that traumatic reaction, not wide open, but a little bit. So if you close your eyes and you can feel a memory that makes you a little bit sad or upset or anxious,
Right.
then you open that neurological circuit.
Right.
So now the door is open. Now you have to clean this up. And the handle to the nervous system is your breathing and certain points of your body that when you stimulate them, they will tell the brain it's okay. So we'll do this now. You do it with me. I don't know if you're in picture or not, but we can try this together. So,
No, I like that activity which you tried to define the stress. So it was really great activity. I actually liked it.
so let's do it now.
Let's do it.
I will show you right now. So
Okay.
just close your eyes
Close my eyes.
and connect to a memory that gives you something other than pleasure, something that you would prefer to not have experienced, something that might make you a little bit sad or a little bit upset. Don't open the door completely. You're not supposed to swim in your bad memories. Just dip your toe.
Okay.
And put the scale from 0 to 10. How much can you feel that unpleasant feeling right now? From 0 to 10, how much? 10 is a lot, 0 is nothing.
I would say 6.
Yeah. Now, if you think about it a little bit more, will it go from 6 to 6.5?
Indeed. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Then you can stop there.
As I think about it more, it will grow.
Good. And I say good because this means that it is a psychological issue. The way you're thinking, your cognition, is affecting your nervous system, producing cortisol and adrenaline, making you feel bad. Right?
It actually is because I feel heat coming out of my body, and my brain is like going in all directions thinking about that thing.
So we stop right there, and you open your eyes, and
Okay.
now open your eyes, and now do exactly as I say.
Okay.
You sit straight, and you breathe in through your nose, and you hold your breath. And now you breathe out in a sigh, as if something is over.
Yeah.
You do this once more. And a really deep sigh. And one more. And a sigh. Now close your eyes and put your fingers on your chest, as if your chest was a piano, both hands, if you can. And now you tap with your fingers as if your chest was a drum, as a drum or a window, and somebody's sleeping on the other side of that window, and you want them to wake up, but you don't want to wake up their mother and father. So you tap a little bit harder. There you go. Now you breathe in, hold your breath, and breathe out with a sigh. One more time, breathe in. Hold your breath and breathe out. And now I will show you a little trick. You breathe in, and then you make a tone as if singing on your out breath. And now put your hands down and ask yourself from 0 to 10, where is that feeling now?
2, maybe 1.
There you go.
Maybe gone.
Well, that's 3 to 4 minutes of intervention, no medication, no side effects, no cost.
Amazing, 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 amazing. That's the only word I have for this exercise. Trust me. Good. Let's take some comments here. So, Imran Saab, you got the answer for your questions. Let's move on to the next comment. Fakhar Abbas Jeppa is saying, can we relate stress with trauma? We're coming to that. That's our topic. So we'll definitely answer that. Maybe this is the time to answer this. Can we relate the stress with trauma?
Yes. Thank you, Fakhar Abbas Jeppa. Yes, we can relate stress to trauma. So as I said, the difference is stress is when your daily stress is not compensated by your sleep and relaxation, so that every time you wake up, you're a little more stressed, and too much stress is entering you until it reaches the top. And when it reaches the top, you will not react in the same way anymore. When your bucket is full from normal stress, your cognition will be impaired. You will make bad decisions. You will be aggressive when you are supposed to be peaceful. You will think poorly and very tunnel vision. When this normal stress is diminished, you are back to normal. So that's normal stress. Trauma is when your stress goes from wherever it is to a life-threatening or honor-threatening or family-threatening level in a matter of seconds, and then it creates a super memory that is chemically bound in your amygdala and will be triggered by anything that reminds you of it. And that's what is post-traumatic stress. Your stress is brought back because your nervous system is warning you. So if, for example, you have been in I'll take a sample. I work with soldiers. They have been to war. They have been, something happened and there was an explosion. A good friend died. They come back from it. So now they are in peace. They come back to friends. Everything is fine. And then all of a sudden, there are fireworks on New Year's Eve, on 4th of July, or whatever holiday. And the noise of the fireworks triggers their nervous system, so their body thinks everybody is going to die. And then the neighbor is starting to have a barbecue, and the smell of the barbecue triggers the memory of burning issues that happened during that explosion. So a normal, peaceful barbecue could trigger a memory that would make them go into a flashback. So that's the difference between stress and trauma. Trauma is a reaction that happens very fast to a memory, and stress is something that goes up and down. I hope that's an explanation for you.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Talking about flashback, going on the lighter side, when I go to movies, they show flashbacks either in slow-mo or
Yeah.
black and white. I mean, I'm watching a color film movie, and flashback is always in black and white. What is the reason behind it?
Well, it's in a way, it's a cultural convention. It's a way of telling you that this is a memory that the person is reliving rather than doing it live. And I think it comes from football. Because when you make a goal in football, the replay is in slow motion.
Yes.
And maybe that's what happens.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying the show. Thank you so much for making this show so amazing. Thank you, Wolf. Okay, another friend of ours, Aijaz. She is a clinical psychologist. She's doing her PhD, MPhil and PhD, and I learned a lot from her. I learned actually assertive communication from her. She's a very young girl and very energetic, but very mindful. And you know, a 60-year-old guy learned something from you know, a 25 years old girl. There's nothing wrong about that. But I am, my writing style has completely changed. The word you is not in my dictionary anymore. That word you is gone. It's me and I always, I won't say that you did this wrong. I would say if I did this, I would do it like this. You know, those kind of things. So assertive communication, thank you so much, Aijaz, for teaching me that. And if my friends want to learn assertive communication, what it is, it's on my wall. You can go and look for that video. So she's saying, wish I could watch the show. This looks very interesting and relevant to my, yes, exactly. It is relevant to your field. However, I'm saving and sharing it for later watch. Yes, absolutely. Please do save it and watch it, and please comment on that later on, and we'll be able to respond back. So thank you so much, Aijaz. Shahzeb Iqbal runs another show on Facebook Live. The name of the show is Amazing People of the World, and it's a great show. I love it. I like it. And he's saying salam, walaikum assalam. Thank you so much. And further, he's adding, new screen is beautiful. Thank you so much. As I said in the beginning of the show, I keep on testing all different kinds of things. I love technology. I'm technology geek, freak, whatever you want to say. Fakhr Abbas Jaffa is saying, sir, can mobile phone and social media use can lead to trauma? Interesting.
That's another good question. Thank you, Fakhr. Yes. Like I told you, it's like the weather. For one person, rain is a blessing. For another person, rain is a disaster. So it's not actually about if it is a mobile phone or if it is a social media. It is about how you perceive it. And this is the strange thing, because if you think about it, there is no consensus on what life quality is. If I ask a person who is rich and healthy, they can still be depressed. If I ask a person who is poor and struggling, they can still be happy. So quality of life is not measured in a way that you can compare, and neither is trauma, because quality of life is the positive side and trauma is the negative side. So you cannot measure them and compare them. For example, I'll give you, cognitively, you have a working memory, and that is your short-term memory. So when you are learning something, it's in your short-term memory, and you repeat it, creating new neurons. So neurons that fire together wire together. The more you repeat it, the stronger this becomes. And then it is downloaded from your working memory, boom, into your hard drive, which is your long-term memory. Once it is in your long-term memory, you will remember it many years without having to work to remember it. So if you're using social media to make yourself happy, not by comparing to those who have it better or feeling anxious because somebody is more successful. If you're looking at things that make you feel hope and that we can change this world, then social media will make you very happy. And if you, every time you look on the phone, you only look at the news for bad things and the climate and we are helpless and somebody is going to press the button and we're all going to go boom in 5 minutes, then, you know, it will be very traumatic.
Yeah.
So it's a choice. It's an unconscious choice.
Yeah. One of my guests talking about positive thinking said that if you're looking for a yellow car, you will find a yellow car. So
Yes.
you will find whatever you're looking for.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for that detailed answer.
Can I just say one more thing? The screen behind you, the reason people are reacting to it is because cognition is thought to be thoughts and words and intellect. But
True.
that's only 20 to 30%. 70% of everything we do is what we see and perceive.
Visual.
And the screen behind you gives a good feeling of science, of the world, of togetherness. It makes you look like a messenger. So it really is a very important screen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I'm really so much overwhelmed with this show today. Amazing, amazing. I didn't expect it to be. I thought it's going to be very dry because mind sciences are very dry subjects. But thank you so much for making this show so wonderful. Thank you so much. So you got that answer. Next question is from Habib Ahmed Tatal. And he's saying, excellent exercise and very helpful. Oh my. So you guys did that exercise with me as well. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. You know what? I'm going to pull it back again and void the recording and do it one more time. So that's a great exercise. Thank you so much.
Also, I just mentioned that there is an app, a free app in 26 languages for Android and iOS that we have created, Gunilla and I, in the Peaceful Heart Network, which shows a more complete tapping exercise, which takes 5 minutes instead of 3, and which is used to resolve even severe trauma, but also everyday stress.
Awesome.
And it's a cartoon. Anybody can download it. It's free. So it's called Self-Help for Trauma.
Okay. So what we can do, Wolf, is that we will put the link to that app, both iOS and Android links for people to download on this live in a comment. And then we'll put a link to your book as well so that people can buy it off Amazon or...
No, wait. Don't buy it. We'll put a link so you get it for free.
Awesome. So maybe we can put a link of that book as well so people can download PDF version and make use of it. So thank you so much. By the way, I mean, not every author give out their books for free. I mean, they write for money. And thank you so much. That's a contribution to the humanity and humankind. So I really appreciate it. That's all. Thank you. All right. So thank you so much. And Habib further is saying, I feel stressed and nervous in new environments. How can I handle it?
Yeah. So if you feel stress in an environment, it doesn't really matter if it's new or old. If it's a trauma, it could be an old environment. If it's a stress reaction that happened in new environments, it could be a traumatic reaction or a stress reaction. Either way, when you stress, the stress response of your body will go into an extreme of stress, which is called flinch, which is when you do like this. When any person who does like this is like an animal in defense. This is the defense position of humans. Many mammals do it as well. So your hands are clenched and your arms are tense and your body is tense and your head is down, protecting your brain, right? And your chest. So anything you do that is the opposite of that will take away your nervous. So if you put your hands out like this, try that. Just put your hands out like this. And then say, and then relax your body, take a deep breath. Think about somebody you love and smile. And then say, I am so stressed. Do you feel stressed?
I don't.
No, because this wires your body to not feel stress. Now, if you go like this, do like this, put your hands down in like this and tense your body and put your head down and say, I'm so stressed.
I'm so stressed.
Can you feel more stress?
Yeah.
Yeah. So neurologically, you put your body in a relaxed way in the new environment, you breathe deep, and you relax. And you will be able to handle it.
Awesome. Great. So thank you so much for that answer. And Fakhar is saying thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Fakhar.
Thank you. And here is the guest who said, remember I was talking to you and I said, if you're looking for a yellow car, you will find it. Mava Sayed was a guest on a show recently, and the topic was the power of positive thinking.
Yeah.
And she's saying, a wonderful guest, although I missed half of it, but I'm sure the remaining show will be equally informative. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. She's a very busy woman. She is a serial entrepreneur and social activist, and she is helping on women empowerment, which is really, really amazing work. So thank you so much for being on the show. So we haven't gotten into my questions that I had for you, Wolf. People have been so amazing that they are asking so many intelligent questions. So keep asking questions. Wolf, how much time we got, Wolf? Do we have any time concerns, or we can continue on?
We can continue on. I have at least half an hour more.
Awesome. Good. Thank you so much. Our sister Farzana Shah from US has joined, and she's saying salam. This is an amazing technology. Thank you so much. So let's dig into our questions. We make decisions in different ways. Some are database decisions that are driven by data. Some are others. There are some instinct-driven decisions. What are those instinct-driven decisions, and how we take them? Are they good or are they bad?
Yeah. So here is something that's quite interesting. I said three things, right? We think, we feel, and we do. And none of these three we actually decide. You cannot control everything you think. You will think things you don't want to think, so you cannot control it. And you will feel things you don't want to feel, so you cannot control your feelings either.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you will bite your nails or smoke or have some habit you don't want, so you even do things you don't want to do. Because you have a conscious level that motivates you and drives you, and you have a subconscious level. You are hardwired to survive. So, like Sadhguru, I don't know if you know about him, but he's a guru in India. He's wonderful. He has a lot of clips, and he will say, if, for example, your loved one says, I will leave you, you say, this is terrible. I feel so bad. I'm going to die. And he says, you think you are going to die, but then if you hold your breath, after a while, your body will say, hell no, I'm not dying. I'm going to breathe.
Exactly. That's right. That's true.
So, we have certain reflexes that we are not responsible for. You are responsible for your actions, but you cannot be held responsible for your reactions.
Right.
You want to breathe, you will breathe, even if somebody is trying to force you to hold your breath. If somebody holds you down and tries to suffocate you, you will fight to get air. If you're afraid so much that your brain shuts off your cognitive thinking and shuts off your language center, and you're in a fight and flight reaction, you will hit everything you see to survive, because your genes want to replicate. They want you to survive as a brother, as a part of the tribe, as a mother, as a sister, for replication, or just for safety of the flock. So we have reactions and actions. Actions are free will, reactions are hardwired in our system. Now, if they are good or bad, the answer is very simple. And it is also the answer to every other question in the world. Now, this is a secret, so I will share it with you and your viewers, but there are 2 words, and they will answer everything you ever wonder about. Is this good? Is this bad? Should I make peace? Should I make war? Should I make love? Should I forgive? Should I forget? Should I talk? And the answer is very simple. It depends. It depends. Right? So is it a good thing that you can have a panic? Yes, it's a good thing if the panic helps you save the life of your family. If it helps you carry your 2 or 3 children across the street from a truck coming down because you panic and you get adrenaline, it's fantastic. If you go into a new environment and people are peaceful and friendly, and somebody puts their hand on your shoulder and says, hello, how are you doing? And this makes you panic, then it's a bad thing. So it really depends on where you are and what you're doing, if it's good or bad. But some things we can be responsible for, and some things we just can't.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much for that answer. And Habib Ahmed Tatal is saying, thanks so much, and waiting for app and book link. Absolutely, you will get it. So right after this live, as soon as it finishes, we'll add those links to the comments. Thank you so much for mentioning that. So let's move on to the next question that I have. Our brain is programmed in a certain way, and naturally it is programmed. So my question to you, Wolf, is how can we be accountable if we are chemically programmed? You know?
Yeah, that's a very, 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 very good question. How can we be accountable?
Exactly.
And
why I'm being put in jail? Why I'm being given capital punishments? Or things like that.
Yes, I have a lot of answers for that. I'll try to give you a few. First of all, science has tried to define what morals are. Now, morals of society define who should go to jail and who shouldn't. In one country, something could be considered very good. In another country, it could be illegal. So obviously, morals are not absolute. Because if they were, both countries would have the same laws. So is it moral to steal? You could ask the question and say, is it moral or not? Well, you could say generally, it's absolutely not moral.
Mm-hmm.
But who will define stealing? Did the Western world steal the United States from the Indians? Or didn't they? Did we steal the sea from the fish? Who stole what from who? Did I steal the land I own from the generations to come just because I went there first? What is stealing really? So you have to define that moral is subjective, and you have to think about it and who is actually to blame. So why do you put people in jail? Well, in some countries, you put people in jail because you want to save society from them making more damage. And when they are in jail, you treat them so that they become functioning as humans, and when they come out of jail, they can function again. So that's correctional jailing. In other countries, you put them in jail for 120 years, and obviously they're going to die. So you're not thinking we can repair them. You're giving up on them. You're not putting them there for their sake, and you're definitely not caring about who they will harm, because in 127 years they'll be gone before half. Instead, you're sending a signal to society saying, if you don't behave according to what I say, you will be in jail. Yeah. So it's not about your behavior, it's about everybody else's behavior who is not in jail. So we have to think about this. Who are we trying to help? Everybody, a few, the future, the past? Whose interests are we jailing people in?
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much for that answer. Now, the next question is about the mind again, since we are talking cognitive here. So mind is mind works in a certain way. That is, it's semantics. So the semantics are already predefined, that what mind has to do. Mind has to control my body, whatever I'm talking, my mind is thinking, and I'm delivering that. I'm seeing, I'm feeling, everything goes through the mind. So these are the semantics of the mind. But then what, is there any overlap between what I want my mind to do? Is there any overlap between the semantics and the syntax of the mind that we want to control?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that it's very interesting because if I could just draw this really short,
Yes.
I would say like this. Let me see over here. So let's say you have a pyramid. Can you see that? And then you have, in the bottom layer, you have your beliefs. They are what you think is possible or not is possible. The next layer you have are your values, your morals. And the next level is your strategy. And the next level is what you actually do. So what you have in that pyramid is a belief, it's possible for me to think anything, or I can only think certain things, or I am stupid. If you have the belief, I am not so smart, you won't find yourself looking for a job for smart people. Now, if you believe that you are smart, you might develop being smart. So your belief is the foundation. The next step is your values. So you believe it's possible to take money from a bank without anybody noticing. But your value says that would be stealing. I'm not a thief. I will not do it. So even if you believe it's possible, you might not use it. And then you have your strategy, which is, I believe I am smart in ways I have not yet discovered. My value is that I should empower myself to help this world. So your strategy is, I will do everything possible to lend my mind to this world to make a better place. And then what will you do? You will do like you. You will share knowledge in a television program to make a better world.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, the next question, Wolf, is what is the concept of free will?
Yeah, that's also a very good question. Because if you look at science, there has been debate about it for many years. If you look at religion, there's a very big difference in what the idea is about free will. If you look at philosophy, there is no consensus about free will. There's no consensus if we first have an emotion, and then we have a cognition, and then we have a behavior. Some believe that every behavior and every thought is preceded by an emotion, which is in a reaction to stimuli, which is stress. And some believe that a thought can create an emotion, which is when you sat down and thought about a memory, it created an emotional reaction. So obviously, a thought can create an emotion. Obviously, an emotion creates a thought. And obviously, both can contribute to behavior. So one theory is that you actually don't have a free will in what you're doing, but you have a free will in not reacting. So like I said, the belief is I could take this, I could steal this chicken from my neighbor and nobody will find out. I will blame the fox. And then your value is, I don't think that's a good idea because I don't want anybody to steal mine and it's not correct. So I won't do it. So the belief is it's possible and the value is I won't do it. So your free will is stopping you from doing that.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. That's a very good answer. Thank you so much. Now, so we are coming to the conclusion of the show, and we are talking about stress and trauma. We talked about it and what impact it has on our brain and our body. And definitely, if the brain is impacted, brain is disturbed, our mind is disturbed, the whole body gets disturbed eventually. That's the outcome of it. So we sometimes have some disorders, mental disorders, depressive disorders, or stress disorders, and things like that, all different kinds of cognitive disorders. What is the possible treatment for the major depressive disorders or the stress and trauma, all these kind of things, mental, cognitive disorders.
I'm very glad you asked that, because in neurosciencenews.com, just today or yesterday, I think, the 8th of July, yesterday, a new study was published. A study finds psychiatric diagnosis to be scientifically meaningless.
Oh, really?
Yes. And they concluded that psychiatric diagnoses are not worthy as scientific tools to identify mental health disorders. And the reason is that they did a big research study where they found that psychiatric diagnoses all use different decision-making rules. So comparing in one country to another is a different result. Also, they found that there is a huge amount of overlap in symptoms between diagnoses. So many diagnoses have common symptoms, which is called comorbid. And also, all diagnoses mask the role of trauma and stress. So they tell us very little about the individual patient and what treatment they need. But trauma and stress are believed to be the root of every single one, almost. So if you want to give a treatment that will diminish the symptoms, maybe 60% or 70 or 50% of the symptoms of any diagnosis, if you decrease stress and treat trauma, you will probably find that so much will disappear. Which is why we have created this organization, the Peaceful Heart Network. We spread the tools so that you can download them for free on the website. Lots of tools, instructions, movies, like the ones I showed you, even more elaborate. But we claim, me and my colleague, that if you take care of your nervous system in the same way you brush your teeth to avoid caries, in the same way you wash your hands without asking, are they dirty? You wash them before you eat, because you cannot see if they're dirty. In the same way, you take care 5 minutes every day using these exercises to lower stress and treat trauma, so that you are a safe person for everybody else to be around, and a safe person for yourself.
Awesome. No, that's great. As I said earlier, this is a great, great contribution to the humanity, to the humankind, to be honest. And right after this show, I'm going to go to my App Store and look for these two things, and I'll install them. And I copied the link as well, and I'll put it in the comments, so you will get the link of the PDF as well. Wolf sent me through internal chat here, so thank you so much for that. Another comment we got from Fakhr Abbas Jaffa is saying, sir, whenever I'm stressed, I make bad decisions, and hair fall starts.
That's true.
So can I overcome this? So I think I have made lots and lots of decisions.
Just fall down here.
Yeah, exactly. We grow from here. Exactly. So just to compensate it, right? So people at least see some hair.
But I understand, Fahad. I understand you, Fahad, because you are completely correct.
Yeah.
You know, Homeboy Industries work with rehabilitation of former gang members when they come out of prison in Los Angeles. It's a big problem and issue, because they have tattoos all over their body that shows what gang they were a member of, and they are not offered a job, and they have a hard time getting a second chance to get a real good life. And once they're rehabilitated, they are good people. They should be given a second chance. So it's always the same thing. They have a saying, which is, hurt people hurt people. So a person who has peace with himself, a person who feels love, will very rarely go out and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Right. So when it comes to stress, it's similar but different. Stressed people stress people. So you can be stressed by other people being stressed. You can be stressed by being around people or in an environment that is stressful. It is correct that when you are stressed, your brain will go into a tunnel mode to solve whatever is in front of you, which means you will make bad decisions because you are making limited decisions.
Right.
To make good decisions, you need to lower your stress. Hair falling off is a sign of stress, and you can do some very simple things to correct it. Number one, every day, before you go to sleep or before you wake up, you do this tapping exercise and the breathing. Just like you brush your teeth, just like you eat food, you do this. You feed your stress system to lower it.
Right.
Also, there is one exercise you can actually do, which is cognitive. And we're talking cognitive neurosciences. And the young woman that you found so inspiring and energetic, that had advice on assertive communication.
Yes.
Yes. How do you pronounce her name?
Gule Aksa Gul.
Aksagol. Okay. Well, this is, to honor what she's saying, because the words we use, you said you change you for me and I. When you change words, you change how your body reacts to it. So instead of saying I have a problem, because when your brain hears problem, it goes, oh no, we have a problem. Instead, you use the word challenge. Oh my God, I have a challenge. Wow, what can I do about this? So you change problem for challenge. And the second thing you do is, anytime you are faced with something you believe is difficult, instead of looking at what seems difficult, instead of focusing on what's wrong or looking at the problem, you define the solution you want so that you can invite this solution from the future into your now. So instead of saying, I have too little time, you say, I would love to have more time. Instead of saying, I do not love myself, you say, I would like to love myself a little bit more every day. Instead of saying, I am stressed, you say, I would like to be more relaxed. And here's a second trick. If you talk about yourself using your own name, you will dissociate from being in the feeling. So you're using a trick to fool your mind. That's because right. It's always easier to help somebody else. So instead of saying, Fahar, if you're saying, I am stressed, you instead say, oh my God, Fahar would like to be more calm. I wonder what Fahar is going to do about this today. I'm really curious. Wow. I'm sure Fahar will think of some way to become more calm. And this is a little bit of humor, and the humor helps you to dissociate one step more.
Absolutely.
I hope it helps you, Fahar, because I understand that it can be very, very unpleasant to feel stress on that level. And it's easy to correct. All you have to do is follow these steps.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Wolf. Next comment is from our sister Farzana Shah. She is saying, it's an awesome discussion. World needs this kind of information and exercises to come out of the pains and to make their lives better. Indeed, indeed. You're on the dot. Thank you so much, Farzana. Appreciate it. And then it's being positive. She is sending lots of hearts. Thank you so much for all those. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So what else we have? Thank you so much, Wolf, for sending those before they disappear. Let me copy these so that I can record them in my notepad here, because as soon as we finish the show, all these internal chat to the show will disappear. So I don't want to lose this vital information. So I got the peacefulheart.se and self-help for trauma.org and the PDF link. So thank you so much for all that. Appreciate it. We have one more comment from Farzana Shah. She's saying thanks. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. So, Wolf, did I miss anything on the topic, or did we discuss the topic to its length, what we wanted to talk about?
Well, I think, the value of this is not to cover everything. It's just one step into making people realize that stress and trauma is something that everybody can handle. Anybody can make a difference. You do not have to be an expert. You do not have to be a psychologist or a doctor or a therapist. You can always lower your stress, and you can always do something for your fellow human. You can always offer them a smile, a kind word, and maybe even some of these techniques. Show them the techniques, tell them about it. Because there is a professor of global mental health at Harvard, and his name is Vikram Patel. And he was working in India for a long while, and he was also working in Africa. And he had something called the Sundar Vision. And what he found was that in the health pyramid of mental health, today, we have experts trying to handle every case of stress and trauma, which means the lines can be 20 months for treatment of PTS in Sweden. In Sweden. So that's not acceptable. It shouldn't be that way. So we would like, with his idea, is to turn this health pyramid upside down and have everybody be trauma informed and stress informed, so that we understand that there is no shame in being traumatized. It is a human reaction intended to save your life, and you can depotentiate, you can downregulate it with simple techniques.
True.
And you can help your friends. And by getting down stress, we will have the people who really need the experts go see the experts. But everybody else, 70% of people with stress can actually make a big difference for themselves by simply using these techniques every day.
Right. So that's great. And Fakhar Abbas is saying, thank you very much, sir. And he has sent a heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Mohammed Allah Rao will be guest in a couple of days on our show. He's the CEO of Islamabad Says, a blogging site, and he's a journalist. He has been writes very well. I'm really impressed by his writing. He's saying being optimistic is great and healthy too.
Yes, and I would like to say something about optimism. They have made many studies on the people who were put into war camp, both in the Second World War and in the following war in Vietnam. So in these studies, they found there are two kinds of optimism, right? And I think this is important. When they asked an admiral who survived one of these long camps for many years, they asked him, what did you do to survive? And he said, the wrong kind of optimist will die first. So what did you mean by this, the journalist asked him. And he said, some people are unrealistically optimistic. They think that by thinking things will be all right, they will be all right. But, whatever power of universe, or we call it God or whatever, has given to us, it is to act. So the ones who said, it's okay, we will be out of this camp by New Year. And then they said, we will be out of the camp by New Year. They were optimistic. They held together. They sung songs. Everybody was, it's all right. We will be out by New Year. Then New Year comes, and they didn't get out. So the morals went down. Then they said, we will be out by June. But June came, and they didn't come out. And the third time this happened, the moral just dropped. Boom. And the life power went out. So a true optimist is the person who says, one day, I will have learned so much by what I now find is suffering that I will be able to use this and help people and the world. And when that day comes, I will know it because I will be smiling. And I might not be doing it only for myself. And I might not even have a family yet. But I will have children and grandchildren in that future. And I'm doing this for them.
That's right. That's right. Great. So, Mohammed Alarao, I hope you got your answer. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. So on behalf of Dreams Television, the Aijaz Qureshi show, myself, my entire team behind the show, and all the viewers who have watched us live, Wolf, and commented, asked questions, participated in the show, or will be watching the recording according to their time zones. Thank you so much for giving us such wonderful information, giving us the tool to eliminate the stress from our lives, and that nice book for free of cost. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
And I appreciate you doing this. And this is what it's all about. When we share knowledge, when we share tools, when we hear good things and we pass them on and we pay it forward, that's when the world can change in a really fast, overnight way. So if Gangnam Style can reach 30 billion people,
Yes.
then we can use the same internet to create peace and de-stress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. Very, very good example. So thank you so much. One more comment came just now, and Farzana Shah is saying, and what about the people who keep thinking that they will do something but cannot? Interesting question. Very good question. They have this urge and desire inside them that they want to do something, but for obvious reasons, whatever reasons, they cannot accomplish that. What do they do, or what should they do?
So I could give you at least 3 answers, because like I said, everything depends. So there's not one answer for everything. If there was, we would all be perfect and paradise a long time ago. So one reason people keep thinking they will do something but cannot could be fear, fear of not succeeding. And these are the perfectionists. They will not do it until they think it's absolutely sure that it will work out. So the most perfectionist will procrastinate. It's a result of being a perfectionist. So fear of not being perfect could stop you. Other people keep thinking, I want to do this, but I'm not doing it. Why not? It could be a subconscious fear. You could be holding on to not doing it because if you change, all of a sudden the world becomes a scary place. Because if you can do what you didn't think you could do, there's so much else you can do, and then you will be very busy, and maybe life won't be so comfortable. Because if you say, I would love to exercise, but I'm not that kind of person, then you create a narrative that keeps you safe from exercise.
Away from exercise.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. So once again, Wolf, it has been wonderful, wonderful show. I really enjoyed it. And we planned it for like 20, 30 minutes. It went on for an hour. Unbelievable. And I didn't feel the hour pass by, to be honest. And the participative kind of discussion that we had, that where I participated, all the viewers participated, or who will be watching will be participating in this. This is really amazing, amazing. So hats off to you. So thank you so much.
Heads up. Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Be good.
All right, viewers, that was a great, great person, Wolf Sandstorm, from all the way from Sweden. He is trauma expert, a stress expert. He has helped so many people. And the book Resolving Yesterday will be available in the link. You can download it from there, from this video, and Wolf's poster as well. I'm going to put all these into the poster as well, and a link to this video into the poster as well. There is an app about self-help for trauma on iOS and Android, both Apple and Android phones, so you can download it from there. And I'll go find the links and I'll share them in the comments. And selfhelpfortrauma.org is the website for the help with the trauma, and a peaceful heart.se is another website that has lots and lots of valuable information. All right, so this is your host Aijaz Qureshi saying adios and goodbye, and with another great guest and a great show. I'll be back with you. Thank you so much. Until then, take care of yourself and people around you. All the best.